Everybody, thank you for staying up to the lightning talks. My name is Mila and I'm working in API, the company recently acquired by an Oracle. And I would like to suggest and encourage you to automate the most of the stuff that you are daily facing. In an API, I am working as a site reliability engineer. And I'd like to show you how my day looks like. We are using a bunch of external services. I'll briefly describe them. It's a Trello as a task manager and task management, a Slack for internal communication, Heroku as our platform, Circle CI as our continuous integration platform, and GitHub, of course, as our repository and code versioning service. So what I do usually, and what can get a little bit tricky, that I'm starting in a Trello where I have my task defined, what I need to do, and usually I need to break it down for smaller atomic tasks. So I go from Trello to Trello. Then, if I'm really working on a particular task, I need to have a specific feature branch, so I go to GitHub. Then I want to go back to Trello to update the Trello with a particular branch. I need to make others aware on a Slack. I need to see whether my test's passing or not. Finally, when I have it ready, I can trigger a deploy of a new version on Heroku. Then I have to check back on a Circle CI whether the tests on master branch are passing. And when finally the application is deployed, I have to notify others on Slack and go back to Trello. And if you do it multiple times per day, 5 days a week, you'll end up like this. So, therefore, in API, we came up with our internal solution called Black Belt. What's the tool that we are using as a main point of control for most of the services that we are using. It's a simple command line tool that automates our developer workflow. It's open source. It's not out of the box ready for a contribution, but we would like to have it this way. So feel free to check it out and let us know how we can improve it. It's written in Python, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. And you can check it out on GitHub repo or on the Read Docs page. I hope it's not so visible, but I wanted to illustrate that it has pretty minimalistic interface. And I'll go through a few examples. This is better, so you'll just type BB as a black belt abbreviation with GH for GitHub and deploy, and it automatically checks the requirements for a branch, whether it has a review, whether the test's passing. It will trigger deploy, automatically wait for tests on a master branch to pass, and triggers a deploy on Heroku, and notifies the others on a Slack. As I mentioned, managing cards in Trello, it will help me as well. It will be moving cards for me from one board to another or from one column to another, so I don't have to click manually. I can immediately deploy current master branch to a specific environment, no matter whether production or staging. And last one, my favorite, it will send an email to our office manager asking for a new order of tea. To wrap it up, don't fear to automate stuff. Do it in developer-friendly way. Most of the services that you are already using have some API, so you can plug it together easily. Thank you for attention. Should you be interested in automating stuff or getting acquired by a corporation, or just briefly chat about designing APIs, feel free to catch me later.
All right, I can hold the mic, or?
Okay. Attention. Hey guys, welcome to this short lightning talk. Do you like this nice voice? Listen to it all day long.
Okay, have you understood? Have you understood this? Yes. Okay, that's great. Because I usually use it like, this is like speed of 0, and I use it like speed of 60 or something like that. And this is the voice which I use when I want to work with the computer. And maybe a short demo how the PyCon website, how can I see actually the PyCon website.
We're on. Watch online stream. Main link. Theatre heading level 3 link. Prague, mother of all cities heading level 2. Welcome to Prague, one of the most beautiful capitals of Europe. You will surely have a great time, are only staying for the conference, or you will take a couple of days to look around.
Yeah, it's something like that. But why do I talk about this? I'm not here just to show this nice robot voice. I'm here to talk about it because it's Python which enables me to do this. Because you can see this is a Linux distribution, this is an Arch Linux, and there are several components. One of them is this nice speech dispatcher. It's called speech dispatcher. It's a piece of software which takes a text and transforms it to speech with some voices. Then there is something called ATSPUI. Don't ask me what it means, but it works with the graphical toolkits and transforms events which are important for us. They are called accessibility events. And then there is a piece of software gluing it all together, and it's called Orca. And this is what we call screen reader. And this is written in Python, and it allows me to do various things like browsing the internet, reading the emails, coding in Python, of course, writing on the instant messaging, working with the documents. But this is not everything. There is more things written in Python which help me and a lot of other blind Linux users. For example, there is a piece of software which uses a Tresor OCR engine to grab text from PDF files which don't have textual layer. There is, for example, game for blind people, real-time strategy with multiplayer support written in Python, and more. And just not to stick with Linux, we have also something for Windows blind users. There is so-called NVDA, non-visual desktop access, which is also a screen reader written in Python. There is even a special piece of software for Emacs, which allows me to use Emacs, and it's written in Lisp. Yeah. So what I wanted to say, I just wanted to let you know that Python accomplished this, and if you are interested in this, I think it's a quite interesting project to look at, because you will meet with interesting spaces of operating systems and graphical toolkits which are not common, and you will certainly help a lot of users to have a good experience with a computer. If you are interested, we can talk about it, for example, at the after party or something like that. So
endless touristic fourth best meadow in the
and yeah.
See you at the after party.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Paolo Rusnak, and I'm founder and CTO of Satoshi Labs, and I will talk about the MicroPython security audit. This is what we do for the last 3 years. It's a security token named Tresor. It's first of a kind Bitcoin hardware wallet, but now we focus on other cryptocurrencies as well. We at Satoshi Labs, we love Python, and if you want to learn more about Tresor, you can watch my talks at PyCon Czech 2016 and Python Slovakia 2017. So MicroPython runs on a lot of hardware, PyBoard, Microbit, ESP boards, PyCon boards. There was a talk in the morning where we learned that you can even put MicroPython in small remote controlled ships. And this is what we are trying to solve. You probably know this triangle. So there is this triangle of focus where you can focus on functionality, usability, or security of the solution, but there is a problem, you can only pick 2 of these. And most of the MicroPython projects, they are somewhere here, like in the lower part. They want to have a lot of functionality, and they want to put a lot of great user experience to user to make it usable. But, well, nobody really looked into the security part of this MicroPython. So also there is another focus that's not in the triangle. Also, MicroPython upstream people, they really care about speed and small size. But again, the security is not the main focus. But because we make a security device, this is the second generation of Tresor, where we use MicroPython. Security is very, very, very important for us. So that's why we want to do a security audit. MicroPython has several parts which may or may not be interesting. So we will be reviewing MicroPython core, which resides in /pi, MicroPython modules, like all these modules you are probably used to from the big Python, but in MicroPython they have a small minimalistic equivalence. And what we don't care about is various platforms like hardware abstraction layers for all these devices, because there is not really a lot of things to review. And frankly, if there is a problem in this hull, then you are screwed anyway. So if I'm talking about we, I mean it in a more broader way. So we, Satoshi Labs, are funding this security audit, but it will be actually Cure 53, which is a specialized group from Germany who did security reviews of lots of projects like NTP, DAVCode, curl, libjpeg, turbo, FDroid, Buzzard, OpenPGP, Secure.my, Envelope, CryptoCat, and others. So they have a really good resume of reviewing and fixing a lot of interesting projects. So audit will happen at the end of this summer, and we plan to fix stuff and merge it in the upstream in autumn this year. And this is why I'm talking to you. I really would like to know how you use MicroPython, what are your use cases, and where should we look for the issues, so I can prepare a really nice document for Cure 53, so they have an idea how MicroPython is used and where they should look for bugs. And shameless plug, we are hiring, so if you are proficient in any of these technologies in the bottom, as you can see, we really do full stack development. You are welcome to write me an email. Thank you.
Thank you, Slavik.
So hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me? You still here? Okay, my name is Slavik. I have to admit, first of all, I'm not a developer. I'm a tester and a business analyst. So I'm usually the one who is who is best friend of developers. And I would like to show you one thing, because also I love to help people. I love to help my friends who are usually having a little business and things like that. And in the last months, I was struggling with many things, because in Czech, tax offices are very inventive. They are trying to bother these people as much as possible. And yeah, so I was looking for some open source tool, ideally in Python, and I came up with Odoo. Anyone knows Odoo? Heard about Odoo? Great. So Odoo is a great tool because it, first of all, runs in cloud. I will show you like how it can look like. It's a great tool because you can have various applications. You can use only those that you know. How can I switch? Okay. No. No. Yeah. So, yeah, and it can be useful for you because you can keep your contacts, you can organize events like a PyCon, you can have your projects or whatever. Apparently it runs in cloud, so you can run it locally, you can run it online, you can have various features there, you know, like you can just improve things very easily there. And that's a great tool also for me to learn Python and to play with things. You know, like you can have a street and a number, and then you can just have a little function to enhance it by splitting the street and a number. You can, you know, have functions like show your friends on a map and, you know, like where they are and things like that. And obviously, like you can help your friends to help with invoicing, and you know you can have even a simple app to you know, just to click on your mobile, start working, for example, for some customer, then you click and basically automatically registers your timesheet and things like that. So obviously, like I would like to, the Odoo as a company, they are oriented more on the enterprises and large companies, and my idea is more to make a baseline for small companies, for the medium and small businesses, which I think deserve it very much because they love to create. They don't want to be bothered with basic stuff like accounting and their projects and the notes and things like that. And yeah, I'm trying to put together a baseline for that. I would like to put together a sharing site, which I would hopefully finish during the summer holidays. So if you are interested, if you want to share, translate, do anything that it's possible or learn, yeah, just drop me an email, ideally, because that's, I prefer emails. So, no. And yeah, stay in touch. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pavlina, and I am one of PyLadies Prague organizers. But now I'm not going to talk about PyLadies, but about another activity that we do in Prague. Well, I want to exploit the moment when you are, of course, all motivated to share your knowledge with others because you heard awesome speeches on teaching and mentoring others. So I want to introduce you to PyWorking Prague. So what is it about? It's one-day workshops that take place once a month, and they are on different topics. And usually there is theoretical and practical part. About 3 or 4 hours on theory, and then after lunch we do in practice what we learned. There are usually 2 tutors, which is great if you never tutored anyone before, because there is always somebody who can help you. And of course there are side coaches that are helping participants if they have any problems. And there are usually around 20 participants with Python skills on beginner level. It's usually a level of the end of the course on PyLadies, but it's not only for PyLadies, it's also for guys, of course. It's open to anybody who is interested. This is just that you can't expect that the people who are at the course are at some higher level of skills. It's just they are all beginners, okay? So what we did in past was, for example, Django polls, internet in general, just, you know, how all this thing works. And we did also databases. Then we did also some shorter courses on data visualization or MicroPython. What could be next? These are just some ideas that came from the participants, what they would be interested in. For example, Git, ethical hacking, machine learning introduction, data analysis, and many more. Or if you have any ideas what you would like to share with them, or what do you think that could be interested to them, you can, of course, let us know as well. And we will help you to organize the event and make it happen. So if you want to get involved, we are, of course, looking for volunteers that would like to share their knowledge with beginners. And we think this is the best way how to start your tutoring or teaching, because you will not be there alone and you don't have to care about the other stuff like where it will take place or about the participants, because we will take care of it. So if you are interested, please just let us know at praha@pyladies.cz. If you are interested in tutoring or if you are interested in participating as well, just let us know and we will just get in touch with you. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Yay. So I'll be talking about HTTP and specifically about version 0.9. So think about 1991. Tim Berners-Lee essentially outlined the basics of the modern web. So HTTP and HTML. And it's kind of interesting that a lot of people don't know that HTTP went for a couple of iterations. So the first version of a protocol that we had isn't actually what we have nowadays. So at that time, there was actually no RFC and there was no spec. What he did, he just wrote an implementation of a small subset of the protocol. And the reason why I want to talk about version 0.9 specifically is because I can concatenate it in 5 minutes. I know it would have been a lot more interesting to talk about HTTP 2.0, but oh my God, there's not enough time. And the second reason is because I have a personal fascination with like old stuff. I had a challenge to find a server on the web that would talk to me HTTP 0.9, and the hero of the day is Mr. Stallman. So what you do, you use telnet to stallman.org, and it tells you that it's connected to the server. And what you do, you say, well, I want the index page, and you say get index. And once you hit enter, it essentially just spits out the HTML straight away and then closes the connection without you doing anything. So this is essentially what HTTP 0.9 was. There's no more than that. There are no headers, no request headers, no response headers. There's no live connections or anything that we have nowadays. And surprisingly, there are still servers that talk HTTP 0.9, and this is a bug opened, and it's about removing HTTP 0.9 server support from HTTP server library, and it was open in 2010, and it's actually still open. Nobody closed it. It's just like, let's keep on supporting 0.9 just for funs. Gee, that sounds like quite interesting. If you have the same fascination with the protocol as me, I have a whole talk which is called HTTP History and Performance, which you can find online if you Google for it and my name next to it. I hope you'll enjoy it. Thank you.
Hi. So my name is Carla, and some of you might know me as the guy who's keeping asking the questions. So so now you have the chance to ask me some questions. So I just do it as fast as possible. So I work at H2O, and so what is H2O? It's a math platform dealing with big data. It's also API. It's an open source in-memory engine. Uses parallelized and distributed algorithms, and it uses multi-threading. Advantage is there's no sampling, so there are better models and better predictions. It's written in Java and uses REST API and JSON. And it can be run from R, Excel, Tableau, and Python. So what's next? These are some main products. So there's the main H2O. It's a in-memory distributed machine learning system. And there's a deep water, which is basically H2O on GPUs. So deep learning using TensorFlow, MXNet, and Caffe behind. And there's also H2O on Spark. So that's called sparking water. And the last is Steam, which is how to put everything in production end to end. What technology do we use? GitHub, we are open source, Jira for tasks, Jenkins for continuous integration, CUDA for GPUs, AVS for cloud, Java and Scala because it's on Apache Spark, and also R, and of course Python. H2O AI has many customers and clients, and there are all of them are among Fortune 500, so 8 out of 10 banks or 7 out of 10 insurance companies, and 4 out of 10 healthcare systems. In terms of numbers, over 9,000 companies and 80,000 users. This is the GitHub repo. I have it dark just because. So just for interest, this is my first PR. It's just a free character change. It looks like this, so there was some mess up, a markdown, so I just fixed it, and it was really fast. So this can be the first PR in your life. And yeah, thanks. Questions? This is the reason why you should use Python. Oh, and we are hiring if you're interested. I also have backup slides, but only if there are no questions. So decide.
Well, the man asking questions is on the stage, so how can there be questions?
Okay.
So you have 1.5 minutes left. Do you want to go through your backup slides?
Backup slides. Customers, PayPal, Cisco, Zurich, something with healthcare, and something with marketing. The team, come on. CEO, I call him the Steve Jobs of H2AI. And CTO, I call him the Elon Musk of H2AI. And there's Stephen Boyd, the Nikola Tesla of H2AI. And Michal, the Czech guy, Thomas Edison of H2AI. Deep water, deep learning product. As I said, Cafe and MXNet and TensorFlow. So you see, I reused the presentation already. And yeah, these are some technical stuff, like more advanced PRs that I've been working on. And it's kind of cool. Like, not really any Python, but still. I'm almost finished. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks.
Yeah, hello. I'm Alexander. I'm from EuroPython Society, and there's a little distinction you will understand in a minute. So actually the talk is about making it happen with friends and total strangers. It's like if you work in the open source community in operation. So I want to introduce you to EuroPython Society, because EuroPython Society is a Swedish non-profit company, non-Swedish non-profit, sorry. It was actually founded in 2004 already. And our mission is to further the use of Python, support open source projects, and organize events to support this. And so it's an open democratic organization. Everybody can join in for free. It's run by a board, which is elected on a yearly basis. And you can find out more on europythonsociety.org about it. And although it might seem like really old, and now you wonder, oh, they're around like 2004 and I've never heard about them. So why is that? Basically, EuroPython Society was founded with the very early EuroPythons. You know, like the EuroPython coming up, the conference, is like the 16th EuroPython already. So in the early days, some people said, okay, let's set up an NGO and place it in Sweden, because many people from the community from Sweden happened to run EuroPython at that time. But basically, it was more like a committee deciding where will EuroPython move in the next years. And we had like Charlotte, we have EuroPython at the CERN, and many awesome places. And yeah, so why haven't you probably heard about EuroPython Society that much? Because we reinvented ourselves basically in 2014, because we saw that just like the local communities handling EuroPython alone every year, we're a little bit overwhelmed with the work. So we said, let's work on this. And 2014, we reinvented EuroPython, and this is the new concept. So this is a picture of EuroPython. And you could be in this picture this year. And so basically our main task currently is to make the EuroPython conference, to basically make money. We can support projects. Well, that's as easy as it is. So of course, our goal is to make the EuroPython conference like accessible for everyone. So we try to keep the prices low and find locations which are affordable for everyone in the community. And everybody should really have a good time there and learn stuff. So we evolved in EuroPython society the whole concept to a workgroup concept. So basically we have a board, basically making the main decisions, like leading or like making like the big decisions, but then we have a lot of work groups who actually work on themselves and cannot make up their decisions by themselves. And this is actually all run by volunteers in their free time. And of course, if you want to join a work group or contribute a little bit or much, you're invited. Just like come talk to me or drop us an email and stuff. And of course, since I have more than 1 minute left, I want to tell you a little bit more about the coming EuroPython conference. This is in about like 4 weeks. This year we are in Rimini. This was a slide done for an overseas, so you know, of course, where Rimini is. We have some awesome keynote speakers. We have tons of talk. We have a pay data, free trainings, and yeah, you all, I would be delighted to welcome you there as well. If you have any more questions on EuroPython, you can just like drop a mail to me, myself, anyone in the organization. Usually we're friendly all the time, basically, and and also because like we want to tell people a little bit more about EuroPython society, because sometimes we're under the impression people think they're doing this conference, but basically the conference is just like it's just a tool for us to support open source projects or other conferences. That's why we also brought you a little gift. So if you decide to come to EuroPython, I have a EuroPython Society community discount code for you, which is here, and you can get a nice 10% discount for buying your ticket. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. My name is Amador Pahim. I'm here to talk about Avocado testing framework. This is just an opportunity to tell you guys about this project, that it exists. It's a testing framework. Avocado is a set of tools and libraries to help with automated testing. Native tests are written in Python, but anything can serve as a test. A powerful feature of Avocado is the varianter. The varianter is a way to parameterize your tests. So you just write your YAML files. Avocado will create all the combinations that are possible out of these parameters that you created in this YAML file. There are some extra features in this functionality. You can, for example, filter out some part of the tree that's created out of these parameters. You can filter only some branches of this tree. An example of the tree representation of that YAML file would be this one. We have the subcommon avocado variants, and then you inform the YAML file. It will generate this tree for you. This is the resulting combination of parameters. Of course, out of this file here, we have 3 different values for CPU flags, 2 different values for this type, so they will be all combined together. Each variant will execute a test once and will serve as a source of parameters for your test. So these are the first 3 combinations. Of course, there are 24 combinations out of that YAML file. These are only the first 3 of them. I'm highlighting the different values in different variants that we are creating. And this is only one test that was executed. Look there, passtest.py. With that YAML file, we will create 24 different variations of that test. Each time that this test is called, it will execute with a different set of parameters. They are all combined in each interaction of that. This is how an avocado test looks like. It's pretty much like a unit test, but we have more features available in our Python API. As I said before, anything can serve as a test, so you are not limited to run Python code as a test. You can have executables or anything else. For example, you can run /bin/true. It will test it as a test. It will test the exit code. The same thing for /bin/false. And the nice thing about Avocado is that it's completely pluggable. So you can create plugins for Avocado, and those plugins will make Avocado to understand your test API or different test framework. For example, a couple of months ago, I created a plugin to interact with robot testing frameworks. So if you are writing tests for robot, you can run those tests inside Avocado. I mean, using Avocado Runner and taking advantage of the features that are available. For example, Avocado List. Download, this is that web demo directory for robot tests, so you can discover the tests that are available that were written using robot API. Of course, by using Avocado, you can use Avocado features like filtering by invalid. It will limit the results that the tests that are being discovered. And when you want to run those tests, you just want to change here from list to run, and Avocado will, of course, execute everything that you told Avocado to execute. This is this functionality is part of this new plugin to interact with robot tests. It's an additional package. You can install it using pip or using DNF install and so on. So that's pretty much all about it. I just wanted to let you guys know about the project, and please, if you have interest, you just access your website and get involved. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Amador.
Hello, everybody. It's horrible for me, but I will try it in English. I hope you will understand me. Let me introduce. My name is Yaroslav, and I'm an ICT teacher at the high school gymnasium in Roudnice nad Labem. Roudnice on the Labe River. It is a small town near Prague, about 50 kilometers from Prague. Actually, Python logo reminds me twins. But I would like to tell you something about different connection between Python and Gemini, the astrology zodiac sign. I belong to older guys here. Maybe I'm the oldest, I don't know. I work with computers and their software from my youth, and due to I have met many computer languages in my life. And I must say that I wasn't very friendly with them. Maybe I wasn't a good programmer. And sometimes I dreamed about another one. And sorry, but after years, I stopped with programming as my main job, and I stopped with dreaming about another language. Sorry. But at the time, I'm a little bit nervous, sorry. But at that time, my son Jakub was started programming in Python. And I must notice that Jakub is Gemini too. He had birthday 5 days ago. After the next 5 years, Jakub was a senior programmer, and with his friends and colleagues started building the Czech Python community. In the same time, I wasn't satisfied with my work in ICT, and I switched my job. I started teaching at high school. The job change increased my interest in Python, and Jakub introduced me in it, and I realized that Python is the language of my dreams. I use Python in teaching. I learn Python with my students and in my free time too, and I like it. And due to Python, I think that I like again the technology. I'm trying to be a part of Python community. And I think, and I have many friends there, and some of them are Gemini too, and they are here. Many of them, not only Jakub, are helping me and my students to be successful. And some of my students are really successful, I think. For example, this month will be the national round of competition in programming. And there are 3 of my students who win in district round. 2 of them are right here with me. And we know that Python is our competitive advantage. Python has many very good features, I think. But I think its best feature is the awesome friendly community. And I'm very glad that our meeting is right now in the Gemini time, and so it can be my best birthday gift because I'm a Gemini too. I am 60 right today. Thank you very much.
Woohoo!
I'm a Gemini too. My name is Xiaochun. Really. I'm a communication coach, and I think everybody that comes up here is extremely brave, and I think it's really something great. I want to tell you 2 assumptions that will kill your presentation. That's the name of my talk. 2 assumptions that will kill your presentation. A disclaimer is, I am not talking about any of the presentations that I've seen at this conference. They've been great. But I see hundreds and hundreds of presentations every year, and there seem like there are 2 things that are really killing people, and you want to communicate your message, so I'm going to help you do that. Assumption number 1 is you think that people have to listen to your presentation. I had an argument on the internet, as we do, not long ago, and there was this guy, and he was really pissed off. He was like, these millennials, you know, they're so rude. These millennials, I'll walk into a meeting room and we're having a meeting or we're having a presentation, and all of them are just sitting there with their devices. You know, I try to tell them, don't bring your devices into the meeting, but they still bring them. And they're sitting there looking at their stuff while I'm trying to present. Now, this guy hasn't realized that the world has changed. And he can remember the days, like I remember the days, when you sat and you listened to the presenter, or you pretended to listen to the presenter, but you were sitting there. Now, you guys can't imagine this, but you were sitting there and you had nothing else to do. Really. You could walk and get out of the room, but that would be really rude. But otherwise, you're just stuck there. You're sitting there, you're listening. But then, you know, we have these things now. The minute that I start to bore you, the minute that I start to say something boring that has no value for you, you're going to take out your phone, you're going to take out your notebook, you'll write emails, your work, you will look at Facebook, you will look at Twitter. You can watch a movie and not listen to me, right? You don't have to leave your seat, and it's considered normal now. So that is our competition. Is I have to make whatever I say so valuable that you will put this back in your pocket and you will listen to me for 20 minutes. So I don't think it's that the millennials are rude, it's that the presenters have not figured out that this is our competition. There's a hell of a lot more to pay attention to than this person that's standing up here talking. Assumption number 2 is that the audience cares about you. Now, I see this a lot at the beginning of presentations. The first slide will be about me, or about my organizational structure. And if you really think about it, why did the audience come to your presentation? I can bet that if you are not Angelina Jolie, they don't give a shit about you. They don't care. They came for some other reason. So if you start with about me, about my organization, you are killing it right there. Because they don't care, the audience is selfish. So the next time when you're creating your content, really start to think about, why is the audience there? What do they want from you? What value, what content do they want from you? And you'll have a much better chance of keeping their attention for a short time at least. So the one thing I want you to remember about this is we need to start having audience-focused presentations. That means instead of asking yourself, what do I want to talk about? Start asking yourself, what does the audience need to hear from me in order to make a decision? Or what does the audience need to hear from me in order to be inspired or to do what I want them to do? The only way that you can get what you want is to give the audience what they need. Good luck. If you want to talk more about presentations, communications, see me at the after party. Bye.
Thank you. Okay.
Hey guys, I will be very quick, so 5 minutes is more than enough. I would like to introduce you a SourceLift project, which is the flight cost aid for open source teams. So why? It's open source teams would love to organize sprints or workshops or go for the conferences, but they are often made of students and they lack resources for these travel expenses. So we have decided to provide for them flight to boost the free and open source software projects and also reward their tireless hours of contributions. We've got some rules. So if you apply at least a month before, if you have a part of the team of 3 to 10 members, you can receive up to 200 euros voucher for flights. And the major projects, the projects are already supported by major organizations like Docker, is not eligible. What we are looking for, popularity of the project, activity of the applicants. It's not limited only to the contributions. So if you go to the conferences, speak at the conferences, it's also a plus points, like language agnostic developer tools, Python-related projects, Node.js-related projects, and Postgres-related projects. We already supported one project, Carla.io. We got for them travel expenses for EuroPython 2017 in Rimini. We got them 2,000 euro. So if you are more interested in this project, go to sourcelift.com or talk to me more at the after party. So that's it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Hamza.